Mike Garland with Carlisle Events with Bill Miller, co-owner and co-founder of the company. And Bill, at Fall Carlisle 2021 on Friday, October 1st at 10 a.m., we're going to do something very different and brand new. We're going to actually sell some of your stuff auction style at the stage. Let's talk about that for a minute. What are we doing?
Well, you know, Mike, I've been collecting stuff all my life. I've got buildings, and there's stuff just everywhere in my home, in these buildings. Actually, my wife said, when are you going to start getting rid of some of this stuff? It all means a lot to me, but it's items that I think is going to mean a lot to other people as well. Some of these things I've had forever. You know, maybe it's just time to start parting with a few of them, and this is it. I started to gather some things together, and if people enjoy some of these items, maybe they'll find a new home.
We have 50, 60 different items that are officially part of the Bill Miller collection, if you will, that will be available as part of this auction. And let's talk a little bit about some of these things. Maybe not specifically every item, but what can people expect?
You know, I collected everything, Mike, from beer memorabilia to car things to motorcycle things, toys. As I went through life and I saw something that was interesting and I thought it was going to be something that would have some meaning to me over my lifetime, I collected it. Just like this little Studebaker wagon here. These Studebaker Juniors, this is actually a copy of the original Studebaker wagon, and they started to make wagons before they made cars. So this is an original reproduction of their wagon. So they called it Studebaker Junior. And interestingly enough too, I have an umbrella that was from the Philadelphia Auto Show in 1938, which is Studebaker too. It's something that's really very unusual. It's surprising that it survived as long as it did. But anybody that's a Studebaker fan, this has got to be a one of a kind at this point.
Well, and you've talked about two Studebaker items. Over here, we have something that has Nash branding on it. So what is this here?
You know, that's a Nash Air Mat in the late 40s, early 50s. The seats folded down in a Nash, completely flat, and people actually slept in them and used them as an RV. And this is an original, unused air mattress. They call it the Air Mat that was never used. So once again, a very unique item that I've had some Nash cars over time, and I saw that and got it.
So we have that. We have this Harley-Davidson motorcycle gas tank. This has a unique story to it as well, doesn't it?
What they did, they had a drawing at the factory. So they modified a gas tank to use it for a drawing. There's a slot here, and it was actually a factory production, one-of-a-kind piece that I had an opportunity to purchase years ago, and I bought it as well.
And this is from the Harley-Davidson factory in York?
Harley-Davidson factory in York.
Of course, a bottle of wine. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people love their wine. This is from Corvettes at Carlisle 2007.
And they were given away to the celebrity guests that were at the show. The oil set up right there. You know, in the early days, Mike, oil didn't come in cans. Oil came in 55-gallon drums instead of a can like this. The gas stations would fill these up and have these sitting outside. And this is a complete set with the holder and the caps and the little cap that goes on top, which is unusual that it's a complete set, because lots of times, especially those little caps, are missing.
Well, and so much automobilia here, but then you have the coolers back here, the Miller High Life cooler, the Coke cooler. These are still very functional, right?
Oh, absolutely. They're very functional. As a matter of fact, I use the Miller one often when I needed a cooler. Of course, it's just kind of neat to have it when you went somewhere that said Miller on it.
And you even have the little toys. I mean, these things, where'd you find that?
That's a Remco toy. They actually, Remco made a whole bunch of things in the early days, but this is actually battery operated. Put a string on it, run around a circle. You know, that's how they did things back then, before they had the electronics and the remote controls and all that kind of stuff. I was a Chevrolet dealer twice. This is the 50th anniversary, which would have been 1974.
You mentioned being a Chevy guy. I'm gonna walk over here and grab something real quick. Talk about this coat. I mean, this is pretty cool.
I was actually a Ford dealer too. So I had Ford, I had Chevrolet dealerships, 2 Chevrolet dealerships and a Volkswagen dealership. But this is Bill Miller Ford. This is from 1977. It was a jacket that was never used, and I just had it, kept it in my collection, and I thought someday somebody might like to have it.
Check the pockets, make sure everything is, you know.
No money left in there, I'm sure.
And if you're into NASCAR, there's some NASCAR stuff here. There's an autographed box of Richard Petty Cheerios. There's a Bobby Allison model, which is actually behind you, Bill.
And it's signed as well.
What is this car back here with the surfboard?
This little car back here actually came out of a photography studio. You wanted to have your child all set up for the summer or something. You'd have him in his bathing suit sitting in that, and You know, he's steering away, just enjoying himself. And this is a child's seat here for a bicycle. And this thing is really very, very old. It's actually a Schwinn product, but you can imagine having that on a bicycle today and having your child strapped in it, right?
There's some bikes around here as well, including this penny farthing bicycle over here. The bikes are part of the auction too, right?
Yes, they are. This bike's from the maybe 1961 era. That one's from the 50s, that's over there. And the penny farthing, that was from Coker. Coker Tire made those. He was a high wheeler guy, and he just rode the big high wheelers, and he made those, and that's in 1988. And that's new in the box. I just took it out to do the pictures.
Posters, lots and lots of posters. We know that the Lamborghini Countach is coming back, so some of these Lamborghini posters might be a little more relevant.
And there's other posters that you can't see that are back here. There's a Shinoda poster back there that's signed as well. Chesterfield cigarettes. You know, cigarette memorabilia is really popular because of the waning cigarette things. This Pennzoil can is pretty unique as well. When I had an opportunity to find that, it's like brand new, and most of the oil cans were pretty beat up over the years. But that thing's just beautiful.
Well, we talk about how events like Fall Carlisle, it's not just about the part shopping, it's the collectibles, the merchandise, the memorabilia. Fall Carlisle is September 29th through October 3rd, if I remember right. And this auction is happening on Friday, October 1st at 10 o'clock at the stage. Bill's gonna be there, and if you want him to autograph an item, if you purchase the item, you'll autograph it, right?
Absolutely. They might take pictures or whatever. I'll be happy to do that, you know.
And it's open to anybody. If you're a spectator, if you're a vendor, if you're selling in the car corral, if you're part of the two-day collector car auction at the Carlisle Expo Center, you're welcome to come over. Fall Carlisle, presented by eBay Motors. Anything else you want to add, Bill?
No, that's fine. The people can just walk in, buy something. You know, they just sign, put their name on it, and pay for it afterwards. And you know, we don't have any registration or anything for it.
And we actually will have a photo gallery of every item that will be available at CarlisleEvents.com. We'll also post it on social media so you can check out these items not only in advance of Fall Carlisle, but then we'll have them on display once you get to the show itself.
You know, interestingly enough, it's really close to the date of the original Fall Carlisle. Fall Carlisle, I think, started 28 in 1974. This is year 47. I always tell everybody I was only 12 when we started, but you know how that is.
You're only young once, but you can be a kid forever, and he's just a big kid. CarlisleEvents.com, Fall Carlisle. It all starts September 29th, and we can't wait to see you here at the show.